Welcome, everybody, to episode number 46 of the Conscious Cruiser. I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys. With me today, as usual, is Scott from Controversial Cruising, Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising, and we've got a fantastic episode for you today on adult-only cruising. Is it for you? Let's find out right after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Elisa, Chet, and Scott.
How about that, y'all? What is going on with you guys this week?
Hey, that music gets me every time.
It does. Another day, another week in the life. We're just rolling along. Waiting until my next cruise. Don't know.
I can't believe how close we are to 50th episode.
50th. What happens on our 50th episode, guys?
Yeah.
You guys can check us out on the Conscious Cruiser website. No, I'm saying it wrong. YouTube channel.
Yeah. In all the descriptions, and I'm sure they will. Somebody will drop it in the chat there. If you have not already subbed up to the Conscious Cruiser, that is where all of our podcast episodes will be in just 4 more episodes.
And don't forget to check us out on Spotify also, y'all. If you're driving in your car and you want to listen to us instead of looking at us, check us out on Spotify. Yeah, we sound really good over there.
We do.
Okay, y'all ready for this great episode number 46 on adult-only cruising?
I am.
All right, I'm going to kick us off with the first question here. Is adult-only cruising something you have done, or is it something that you are interested in doing? Why or why not? And, of course, we always go ladies first here on our first question. Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising. How about adult cruising?
You know, as you are sporting your Virgin Voyages t-shirt, looks very nice, very nice. Of course, that's what I think of now when I think of adult-only cruising, because as far as I know, they're the only cruise line that does not allow children or people under 18. So I have not done that. But there have definitely been a time or two when I would say on a Carnival ship where I wish there were no children. I hope that they are really following the policies that they've had in place for years and years, and enforcing the curfews and just not letting teenagers run wild on the cruise ships. But what I do is kind of try to avoid traveling during those spring break times, because it's their time. Like, let them have their trip. And if I don't feel like I can deal with all of that, I cruise another time.
Very true. Very, very true.
Scott, have you done it, or do you want to do it? Why or why not?
I have not done it yet. Virgin Voyage is always one of those lines that make me scratch my head. I'm so curious. I don't know what to expect. I don't know when I'm going to get to go on, but I do know that they do offer the adults only cruising. I also believe that as we get further into 2026, 2027, I think there is going to be a lot of cruise companies that try this style of cruising. You can already see Carnival with their 6 or 7 SEA cruises, which is sailing exclusively adults. So that's a kind of like their tease into the exclusive adult exclusive only sailings. Now, will that turn into just an adult only ship in Carnival? Like, will they just take the Luminosa and that's just only 18 plus or something like that? Maybe, but I do feel like this is kind of, I guess, a back end talk by a lot of cruisers for this adult only cruising. And I mean, I can't really speak too much to it because I haven't been on Virgin, but that would be the first cruise line that I would go on if I wanted to go on a exclusively only adult cruise sailing.
Well, I guess Elisa pointed out my shirt here. We have done it. We've been on the Scarlet Lady, adult only cruise there on Virgin, and I have another one booked for October on the Valiant Lady. And I got to tell you, it's a totally different experience, and it's something like you're trying to describe there, Scott. You can't really think about it until you actually have done it, because the vibe is so different on that ship. Yeah. It's now we've only done the one sailing. I can't wait to do the second one here to compare. But the first one, the vibe was so chill, so relaxed, and it wasn't party like you imagine. Oh, maybe it's going to be party. Maybe it's going to be super risque or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's so chill. It's so chill. Now you do have, like the Scarlet Night on there, where they say wear something red. Well, you can wear a red tuxedo. You can wear a red handkerchief. You can wear whatever. Anything goes for wherever you want to wear red. Yeah, I mean, so that's where your adult theming comes in like that. But as far as behavior, let me tell you, there was no behavior on there that was something I would say, whoa, that ain't cool. It didn't happen. So I can't wait to do the second cruise to compare. But it's a totally different vibe. It's far more relaxed. The crew's far more relaxed. I've never seen a relaxed crew that there was no problem. If you had a problem and you went to them with it, you didn't have to go to customer service desk. You didn't have to call the captain. You didn't have to call, anybody. The crew who standing right in front of you would say, "No problem. We'll do this." I was like, "Wow,
nice. That's nice."
Yeah, it's a totally different atmosphere that I recommend everybody experience at least once, at least test it out. They have a lot of 4 and 5 day sailings that anybody can test it. And it was just really, really great. I look forward to doing another one.
A really good customer touch, it sounds like.
Yes.
I think that they're, when they first came online and everybody was talking about the Virgin Voyage experience, it was kind of like, what the bleepity bleep? But now it's like I'm hearing more and more people say what you're saying, Chad. It was like just chill and so different, and they really, really love it. I think there's a lot of people who really love Virgin Voyages now and will only cruise them now because they like the different take on cruising that Virgin is offering. So I'm not opposed to it. I definitely want to see it. I want to, I want to check out another cruise ship, but haven't done it yet.
All right. Hey, that's great. Well, we'll move on to number 2 here. The know before you go approach, y'all. What are the pros and cons of adult only cruising? Now, you can, even without experience, you can kind of use your imagination on this one, I think. What are the pros and cons of adult only cruising? Scott, how about kicking us off on this one, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I won't take the big elephant in the room for the pro, but I think one of the biggest pros, as Chet was even alluding to earlier, is the freestyle of it all, right? The kind of come and go as you please, right? We're all adults in the room. We're all adults in the room. We are, right? There's no kids here. We're all adults in the room, and you do what you want. We'll do what I want. If you want to go to the risque show, you want to do this, you want to eat a hamburger on your hammock, do whatever you want. Okay. It's your cruise, right? So I think that freestyle reign on a line like Virgin, I think really is kind of the best pro of it all, right? I think the con, I don't know. I don't know the con. I guess the con would be, the rumors of how risque it could be because the adults and the risqueness and, the lewdness and all this other stuff. But again, that is what you make of it. Any situation is what you make of it, right? If you want to go to those risque shows and that's what you're there for, ain't nobody judging you. You do that, right? But if you just want to hang out and you just want to go to the Scarlet Night in your red handkerchief and red tuxedo, then go ahead. Totally. No problem. Just make sure the red handkerchief is covering places, okay? You got no problems with that. It's freestyle. You do what you want, okay? So really the only con I would really think of the people that I guess either haven't experienced it or the people that are kind of painting this picture that it's all about just being risque and naked and, flashing this and that and whatnot. So that's really the only 2 pros and cons I can think of.
You really piqued his curiosity with that red handkerchief. He's like
just the red Okay. No,
I won't
no.
tell you how I know about the handkerchief.
Oh, too funny, too funny. I mean, I think about excuse me, the technology that Virgin is using, and I don't know how techy it is, but it does look interesting with the
Very.
is an iPad or some kind of touch pad like that where you're controlling the lighting and the music and the TV and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, when you come off of the older ships and you're like searching for a plug, that kind of thing seems like it would be really cool, and probably more the way of the future of cruising. Like, people are going to expect more and more technology available in their cruise cabins. So
I want to plug next to the toilet so I can charge my phone and take a poop at the same time.
Oh, I'll tell you.
that was TMI, but Virgin is not judging.
There's nowhere you can go on that ship that does not have an outlet. Okay, you know how on a cruise ship you want to sit out there with your computer or plug your phone in or your camera or whatever, and you can't find no outlet nowhere?
Right.
On Virgin, they're everywhere.
Nice.
Has
Everywhere.
many meanings. Double entendre, folks. Double
Yeah.
entendre.
So if you are a techie or you just want to play in your game or you want to do your emails or your computer stuff, you don't have to sit in your room to do it. There's outlets everywhere.
Everywhere.
And
I put that in one of our videos, part of my ship tour, and another video as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Lisa. If technology is there on Virgin and they have, so you can access it anywhere you want.
Right.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm looking at pros and cons here. I think the biggest pro is, I mean, no kids. No kid. If I want to get in a hot tub, you know, some ships I can't get in a hot tub because they're full of kids.
True.
I'm just saying, there's nobody banging on my door in the middle of the night. It's never happened.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of pros there with no kids. Not that I don't like kids. I like kids.
Yeah.
I like kids to go ahead and be kids. I don't want to be kids banging on my door in the middle of the night. I want to be able to get in a hot tub if I want to. You know what I'm saying? You've been on those cruises. So that's the pros there. It is a pro not to have kids, which for some people is a con because they have kids and they want to take their kids with them.
Correct.
Obviously, this is not going to work for you. I think the big con for me, though, is there's not enough adult cruises. And Scott was talking about, you know, Carnival now is going to have some adult-only cruises. And I think they are testing the water, Scott. I think you're right on that. And I think they're going to have a big success with it. And Robin from Sea Lake Journeys and myself were discussing that because I said, what about other cruise lines trying this? She goes, oh, yeah, you know, if they do it during times when the kids are in school, you know, do it in January, February, kids are in school, whatever, give it a whirl, test it out, see if it's a good thing. And I think that was
a chain reaction, you know, that's kind of what this cruise industry kind of has been over the last couple years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see a cruise company, right, take a plunge to do something, they do it, everybody sits back and watches and reacts and is like, oh, that was a good thing, let's do the same thing, but like do it a little different, right? Or it's like, ooh, they lost like $37 billion. Let's not do exclusively only adults, right? Let's pull back from that, you know? So it's just kind of a reaction thing. And I think Carnival being, I don't know if they're one of the first that have tried it. I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like they're one of the first. I think everybody else is kind of watching to see how those bookings go. I know from what I've researched, they're full. So there's that. Right. But now, is it just like the one thing where they go on and they're like, well, that really wasn't all the bells and whistles, right? I'm not going to do it again. Or it was like, wow, that is like Carnival on another level. Like that's like Carnival, right? So now it's like, now they've built this hype up of wanting the sailing exclusively and only adults. And now Royal's like, hey guys, we should do that too. Let's call it the Royal Risqueers. Only the Royal Risqueers, 18 and over, right? Royal, if you come out with that, I want 1%, just saying. But I think they'll start to like follow suit if it is successful. And I think that's what a lot of cruise companies have done with a lot of the different tactics that they've rolled out. And you've seen it, like I said, all among the cruise industry for different things, not just this exclusively only adults thing, but
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I think this
I
is
agree.
another. Oh, go ahead, Chet.
No, go ahead. No.
Like I said, I think this is another one of those interesting ways that cruising has evolved. Because Chet, I think you might agree with me. Like when I started cruising, kids on a cruise ship was a rare thing,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of summer breaks, and they
Right.
were fewer. It wasn't necessarily the family vacation that it's being marketed as now. So it was more adults only. It was a rare thing to see the kids, more like the Love Boat,
Yeah.
where it was rare. So I do think that that's interesting that now we've gone the other way, where and this is not a criticism, it's just the way times have changed, where it's become the family vacation, and now we're trying to find other ways to just have it be more adult time.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is, and we'll see where it goes in the future. But I think a ship that's got 3,000 people on it and there are 3,000 adults versus a ship with 3,000 passengers and 1,000 of them are kids, which one's probably going to have the most income on that ship?
Yeah.
I mean, you do the math,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're saying it's a business decision. Yeah. They're making them. They're looking how to make more money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if you think about it this way, right? If you're showing, right, and this is playing devil advocate on both sides, right? If you're showing a young cruiser, right, and this is me speaking from experience because I was a very young cruiser, right, and this is why I am the cruiser I am today, right, because my parents, we always went on that habitual 1-year cruise from the time that I could pretty much walk until I was of age to do it myself. Yeah. Now, right, I think about that. If I didn't have those experiences, right, I wouldn't be sitting where I am today, right? And I think cruise companies know that. And I've said this on many of my different shows, that they're going after the generation that is ready to become the habitual cruisers, right? And it's not that they're forgetting about the cruisers that have been there. They sort of kind of are, but they're not forgetting about the cruisers that have been there, but they know who is going to make them money over time, right? Yeah. The ones that have just got married and just have a kid, right? So they're 20, 27, 28, right? And they're bringing little Lucy on the cruise. Well, guess what? Little Lucy's going to grow up to be, bigger Lucy that wants to take her friends and her bachelorette party on Royal Caribbean because mommy and daddy took her on when she was 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and 9, right? So cruise companies know that. So I think they're sitting back and saying, well, let's look at this sailing exclusively only adults, but we don't want to cut our family-friendly marketing because that cuts off a lot of revenue that we will maybe not have right now, right? Because kids sail free, whatever. But when they grow up, they're going to come back to us. And I think that that's really where the marketing team is kind of having that. Should we do adults only? No, we're family friendly. No, we need to do adults. No, we need to be family friendly. I think that that's where the real battle is.
Well, I think the other considerations too, back in times when I started cruising, I could not start cruising until I was 40 years old. Okay. Until my kids were grown and gone out of the house. Yeah. Because realistically, growing up, my parents, there's no way they could have afforded to go on a cruise. And then me and Robin struggling with our 2 kids, and there was just no way we could afford it. We went camping with a tent, guys. There's a cruise was out of our reach, absolutely out of our reach. Now, young guys are making $100,000 a year, rolling out of high school almost, and they're making three or 4 times what I was making at the same age. And the cruises haven't gone up that much. Okay, they haven't gone up that much. You think about it, I get advertisements right now from MSC, 5-day cruise for $199. Yep. Well, that's only like $20 off from what it was 20 years ago, honestly. But so I think they're looking at who's got the money. Let's figure this out. Yep. They're not going to give up on family cruises. They're not going to give that up. But I think there is room for more adult only cruises. I think there's room for both, and they're figuring that out as well. They're
trying to figure out the market. It's like it's as much as you would not think it's a niche market, it is a niche market within a much bigger market and a bigger scale of the cruise industry.
Absolutely. Well, I better roll over here to our sponsor for today and check this out, y'all. This is going to make all of y'all think about a cruise.
Uh-oh.
How about that?
Oh, I
Are you
can't
ready to
wait.
book that cruise?
We're ready.
Everybody's ready for a cruise now.
February
Yes.
14th, 2027, Carnival celebration. Come and join me.
Come on, come on.
Woo!
on.
Hey, ready for question number 3 here, y'all.
Okay.
Which cruise line could be successful if they did some adult-only sailings? Not changing over all the way completely adult-only, but which ones definitely could be very successful with adult-only cruises? And we'll head back to Scott over here. He's got his hand up. Go ahead, Scott.
Chet, give me Margaritaville at sea for 500,
Ooh.
please.
Brilliant.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Parrot heads unite. Yes, Margaritaville at sea would be the best for trying out the exclusively only adults. Not that the younger generation doesn't know and appreciate who Jimmy Buffett is, but you have a vast majority of your parrot heads being of the older generation. And I feel like they would take great appreciation into the fact that it would be an adults only cruise. And the fact that it would be on a Jimmy Buffett cruise, Margaritaville, and they could just do what they want. And Margaritaville by itself, I've already been on it when it's not adults. It's very freestyle as it is. So I could just imagine when they did the adults only Jimmy adults only sailing, I could just imagine how laid back that would be, right? It would just be like Jimmy Buffett 24/7 everywhere, and margaritas just handed out at will. Like, you want a margarita? You want a margarita? Hey, margarita for you. Like, you know, like, come on.
Hey, Margarita.
Exactly.
Margarita. So they would be the perfect fit without a doubt. And Margaritaville, if you also come up with the sailing only exclusively adults or something like that, I'll take 0.5% this time. I didn't come up with the name. I wasn't witty enough.
That's generous. That's very generous.
0.5%.
Yes, you're willing to share their profits. So generous of you.
Oh, and free cruises for life. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Free cruises for us. Yeah.
Funny.
What do you think, Elisa?
I mean, I think any of them really, but I mean, I'll go with Royal Caribbean. Especially, I know they're it could be either way with the big ships, because they have all of the specialty dining, and I've always really enjoyed the main dining room and just the extra service that I felt like I got on Royal Caribbean. And I think some adults appreciate that much more than kids do, for sure. And for those who don't mind the dressing up and the, taking it slow in the dining room and just kind of having those kind of service experiences, I think an adult only cruise would be profitable for them too.
I have to agree with both y'all. And ultimately, I asked Robin from Sea Lake Journeys this question too, and we both said the exact same answer. Is I think any cruise line could give it a whirl, and have some adult-only cruises. Norwegian, I think, would be another good one. Some cruise lines are so close to it anyway. Princess, Holland America, and Celebrity. I think they're pretty close to adult-only, because I remember all these sailings I've done with Princess, like a dozen of them, and I can never see a kid. I can count on one hand how many kids I've seen in a dozen cruises. Honestly, I don't know where they are. One time the captain announced we have 150 kids on the ship. Right. I'm like, where are they? Y'all keeping them like on deck 3 or something, locked up? What's going on here? So I think some of it wouldn't be a hard stretch to do.
And why do you think that is? I mean, I think I've always kind of assumed it was an older clientele for Princess in general, so they wouldn't have young kids unless it's grandkids or something. But maybe that's not true. What do you think there?
Oh, I think you look at the ships. Number one, when I have kids, or grandkids, or wherever, and I'm looking for a ship that I'm going to take them on, I'm going to look for water slides. I'm going to look for zip lines. I'm going to look for stuff for them to do. And Princess don't have all that stuff. There are no water slides. There's no rock climbing wall. There's no zip lines. There's none of that. Right. They do have the kids clubs, but as I think all cruise ships do now. But as far as other activities beyond that, there's really
not much for them to enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, even if I was a parent taking my kids now or grandkids, wherever, I'm not picking Princess for them. I'm picking it for me. That's why, but
Yeah.
not for them. I'm picking Carnival. I'm picking Royal Caribbean. I'm picking Norwegian. I'm picking one of those three.
And I think it would be also best for the cruise companies to look at the ports and the itinerary for these different sailings, right? For example, I would not try to do a sailings exclusively only adults into the Caribbean, or Cozumel, or Bahamas, or something like that. I would more look into maybe, and if any cruise company comes out with this, I'll take 2% for this one, because this one's adults in Alaska. Right? Take a Norwegian cruise, right? And kids don't want to go to Alaska anyway, right? There are some kids in Alaska, I get it, but you don't want to really take your kids to Alaska. So adults in Alaska, right? You really want to spend it with your significant other, right? You're marketing right to a correct audience for a correct itinerary, right?
Yes.
You're taking a ship that doesn't have the bells and whistles, right? Because the bells and whistle ships can't go to Alaska anyway, right? 3, you already have a catchy name thanks to Controversial Cruising, Adults in Alaska, right? So now you're like, well, I am an adult in Alaska.
What's the take on that? What's the percentage?
2%, right? Or adventurous adults in Alaska, right? Now you get all those. Now I'm an adventurous adult in Alaska, right? I think it's more itinerary specific. I think it could be more successful itinerary specific for these cruise companies rather than just the cruise company, because I think any cruise company, like you both said, could be successful at it, but it's the steps that they take in order to do it successfully rather than just, look at their, predecessor and say, oh, they did it. Oh, they are successful. Well, it may not be. You may be able to be more successful if you were more fine-tuned into it, like adults in Alaska, right?
And cruise lines for a mere 2%. You can contact us here at the Conscious Cruiser, and our think tank, Elisa, Scott, and myself, will help you solve these adult-only issues, and we'll make sure you're successful at it for only 2%.
That's right. That's right.
How about that? Okay.
Grown-ups in Greece.
What's that?
Grown-ups in Greece. Here we go.
In Greece.
3% for that one.
Greece.
Keep going.
That is true. There were not a lot of children. Of course, our kids are already back in school at the time that we went. So that probably was a part of it. But yeah, the average American looking for a getaway for their vacation in the summer is not going to be able to afford to spend on taking all the kids along too. So, I mean, if you have it, wonderful, and you want to be able to expose your kids to that, awesome, great. But I don't think most people are going to make that investment to take their kids to Greece.
Just the grown-ups. Grown-ups to Greece.
I'm liking it. Well, we're down to our last question, y'all. The question of the cast. And would you consider paying extra for an adult-only cruise experience? Why or why not? And how much? Who wants to tackle that one first?
I mean, I tend to agree with Scott in that it really depends on where you're going. The itinerary. I'm not going to do it for, let's say, to go to Nassau, where we go often, and we can make our own experiences there. I love Nassau. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but it would have to be something that seems really unusual or more exotic or couple friendly or something different.
Yeah, because you're going to go out in Nassau, right, off of your exclusively only adult ship. There's going to be 5 ships in port. You're going to go out, and there's going to be 970 million kids. You'll be like, I paid for what? Oh, wait. I'm going to just go back on the ship. Exactly.
Yeah.
Find my quiet spot.
But it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, for me, I would do it if you made it exclusive and I knew what I was paying for, right? Adults in Alaska is very exclusive. You know what you're paying for. You're paying for adults in Alaska. Wait, but you're paying to be a group of adults in Alaska cruising together. Yes, 100%. So that I know what I'm paying for there, right? Like, again, if it was a Caribbean cruise style cruise, I'm not really paying for anything there, right? There's no extra exclusivity unless I'm literally just staying on the cruise ship. If I was using that and I had a job where I could work from home or something, and I'm like, hey, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to Cozumel, and I've been to the private island, rinse, wash, and repeat. I can do it backwards with my eyes closed on my hands. Okay. I'm just staying on the cruise. I'm bringing my laptop and I'm working. Sure, I could see that, right? And you're just paying to not have the kids running around and spilling your coffee cups just so you can work in peace. That would make sense to me. But again, that's very circumstantial to the things that are going around. That wouldn't be like a normal thing. That would be just because I work from home and I have the peace and serenity to work from a cruise ship, which manifesting this into my life, but hopefully one day, but not right now.
Well, y'all presented some great items there. And I think, like Scott said, it depends on where you're going, would I pay? And I think like Alaska, Norway, places where you want to be quiet. And we've done 2 Alaska cruises. You could hear a pin drop on that ship, So, let's say it's $850 for the 7-day cruise in Alaska, but I pay 10% more, $85 more to get on an adult only cruise to ensure that pin drop experience while we're going through the glaciers and all that. I think I would. And through Norway, going through the fjords or Australian fjords, pay an extra, $85, $100 to ensure that I can hear that pin drop. Man, I'm probably going to pay that.
Yeah.
But not going to Nassau. I'm not sitting on the balcony looking out at Nassau going, going into Nassau, I want to hear steel drums. I want to hear what's going on. I want to hear all that stuff.
Right.
So, I think you guys got it right about being what ports, where are we going? Yeah.
Very much matters. Very, very much matters.
Oh man, I'll tell you, we've accomplished episode number 46 so easily. It's like we've done this before.
It's like we've done it 45 times before. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Just want to remind everybody to check us out on Spotify and check out our individual YouTube channels as well. Sea Lake Journeys, Elisa's Adventures in Cruising, and Controversial Cruising, along with the Conscious Cruiser, which is where we will be on exclusively, starting with episode number 50 coming up. In about a month?
In about a month. Right before the end of the year. So we get to go, it should be before December. And then just to let everybody know, as far as the YouTube channel goes, you're not just going to see the podcast episodes. Those will definitely be there every single week, but you're going to get some fill-in tips from some shorts and some videos from Elisa, from Chet, as we think of them, myself, as we think of them. We're just going to upload little shorts, even produce some videos for you, some standalone videos, the know before you go approach. So this channel will be all 3 of us as a head, helping all of those cruisers, experienced cruisers and non-experienced cruisers, right? Kind of find their way through that know before you go approach, from things that we have experienced ourselves and things that we're going to get experienced. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get on the channel together, all 3 of us.
Me too.
Gonna be great.
All right, guys. I hope to see y'all tonight on the Monday Moon Check over there at Elisa's.
Come on in.
I'm going to
plenty of room.
Beat Scott there.
Hey, Danny.
Already beat you. And if you go over to the Go Live Together, Eddie, Jeremy, and Cheryl, give them a little conscious raid and let them know Elisa, Chet, and Scott sent you. We love you guys.
Happy
We'll
Monday.
see you on episode number 47 next week.
I'm Elisa. Bye, Al.
Bye.